exploring lakes, rivers, and reservoirs across the country with an unyielding goal to enlighten viewers from a fisheye perspective. Come along and we'll investigate the habitat. Much more than a fishing show, this is an eye-opening aquatic experience. Welcome to Kim Stricker's Hook and Look. Cold fronts, high pressure, blue skies, drop in temperature, accompanied by an exasperating wind that can churn the shallows, even reposition the fish. And this meteorological quandary only compounds with Florida-strain largemouth, thus presenting a perplexing challenge to even the most seasoned angler. However, with the right approach, the demoralizing dilemma can all be summed up in just one word.
Nice.
Amistad National Recreation Area is a borderland paradise near Del Rio, Texas. In Spanish, the word Amistad means friendship. And today, Kim and legendary bass angler Denny Brauer head out on the lake for an opportunity to rekindle theirs.
So we're gonna move up the lake, or?
Yeah, we're gonna run about 10 miles to a shallow area that's got a bunch of hydrilla and a lot of bushes.
Okay.
And it's an area that this time of year, a lot of those big fish pull up into spawn. And some of them are already starting to set up around the bushes and try to flip us a few fish. And
yeah.
There's also, you know, some pretty good structure up there if we don't get bit shallow where we can work out a little bit deeper. But we should be able to find a pretty good bite or two up there. Wind's supposed to blow 40, so you're a little limited in where you can fish.
Fish move a lot in this?
They move with the different wind directions and move them around. A lot of times they just hunker down.
Yeah.
And get real non-active. Come hard to catch when you get this wind riled up, water dirtied up. It's been a pretty good front that rolled through here.
Yeah.
Fish bit like crazy before that front rolled in. They can always still be caught.
Yep. Well, that's where you excel, usually through a front like this when the fish are holding tight to stuff.
Well, what it doesn't make flipping better. That's what a lot of people don't realize. Flipping's at its best when all the other techniques are at their best too, but flipping's one of the few techniques a lot of times you can still generate some bites just because, you know, the strike zone is shrunk and they get very inactive, get tight to cover, and it's one of the few ways you can put it right in their face and
right.
A lot of times get a little reaction strike out of them because they'll get right in the middle of this stuff and just lay there.
Well, right from the start, Denny and I knew this wasn't going to be easy. The deeper bushes had been exposed to the wind and churned up, so we worked our way back into the wind-protected pockets. This actually feels comfortable in here. We ought to catch something. I think there's a comfortable bass sitting in one of these.
Talking that smack. Yeah. Come on, bite my cricket.
That's a decent fish.
He come out of there hot, didn't he? Whoa, there we go. That's a little better one. Still a male though, Kim. See how skinny he is?
Out of that hardwood.
Yeah, just laying on actually there was a horizontal piece in that hardwood, and he was on that horizontal. But all these males we've caught have been real shallow, and as messed up as the weather is today, I would have thought those fish would have been deeper in the deeper trees, but so far.
But if you look in here, I mean, you can see that it's protected and it's not as churned up as it was out in those deeper trees. Though.
No, well, that's true. And you know, they're wanting to spawn and they want to get in these little protected pockets kind of out of the wind. Let him go.
All right.
The striking range bug, they'll eat that thing, man. They'll scoop it down. Ooh. Man, that tastes like fish. Hello.
Hey.
Come here, little girl. I was swimming it out of that bush when that one hit it.
Nice.
That fish was up shallow, real shallow, Kim. That's not a bad one.
Yeah.
Little old male up there. Probably getting ready to start bed. Not a bad fish at all.
Stick around. There's more from Lake Amistad coming right up. Hook and Look is brought to you by Strike King Lure Company, #1 in fishing lures. Seagar, trust Seagar when everything is on the line. Power Pole, swift, silent, secure. Aquaview, reinventing underwater cameras. And by Indian River, Michigan Tourist Bureau, pure water, pure trails, pure north.
See the nutria in the tree?
What's that?
Nutria right there.
Oh yeah, look at.
He's kind of in hunker down mode too, isn't he?
Yeah. That's the first one of those we got on video.
Get him out of there, boy, Kim. Nice one.
Oh, just a nice one.
I guess you got him in just in time. You're lucky there. Nice one.
That is nice.
Pretty colored fish.
I was swimming it right around between those two bushes.
You know they're up in here bedding in this stuff.
I mean, the female's got to be here too.
Oh, they are. They're just a little more laid back.
All right, Texas. All right, let's catch some more. As an alternative, Denny suggested we try Carolina rigging off the Rocky Points to see if we could locate some larger females. The Rage Bug is a versatile lure and works equally well dragged behind a 3/4 ounce tour grade tungsten weight.
So what we've got here is just a big sweeping point that drops off into the main creek channel. A lot of these fish are just staging on these secondary points right now. You get some warm weather, they'll move up in the bushes, and just like we caught those earlier. And then you get a front come through like this, and they'll pull back out on these points. And you just got to kind of adjust. And as they adjust with the depth, that's one thing. When you have a real clear water lake, they'll do more movements than they will in a dirty water lake. Dirty water lake, they'll just get tied to the cover and stay there. But these clear water lakes, these fronts will push them back and forth. And the biggest problem we're facing right now is all the wind. It's just hard to fish some of the key areas where the bigger fish are. I mean, you're liable to hit a big fish anywhere. That's part of this lake. It's absolutely loaded with them. But it can be one of the hardest lakes in the world to fish at times too, because fish have the ability to live all the way down there 80 to 100 feet. The reason I moved down here is your next cast liable to be a 15, 16 pound bass too. You can't say that about a whole lot of areas.
In 2010, Denny and his wife Shirley built their retirement home here in Del Rio, overlooking the grandeur of Lake Amistad. The interior exhibits Denny's unreserved passion for deer hunting and displays an array of awards and memorabilia documenting an illustrious fishing career. The magnitude of his accomplishments include the 1987 Bassmaster Angler of the Year title, an FLW Tour Angler of the Year title, 20 major victories, which include the 1998 Bassmaster Classic, Megabucks, and Superstars Championship, as well as capturing Major League Fishing's Summit Cup title in 2013. Denny was also bestowed the honor of being the first angler to have ever been featured on a box of Wheaties cereal, and has even made 2 unprecedented appearances on The Late Show with David Letterman. Undeniably stellar achievements for a professional bass angler.
Is there a particular reason you threw right on top of me, or is just you don't know where your casts are going to go? Just thought I'd ask. Just throwing it out there.
I'm a coal angler. I'm fishing like a coal angler.
Oh boy!
That one feels a little better.
Good one?
That one's a little better. Yes. Yes. That's definitely
Right.
Get on up. That's not bad a fish. Yes, sir.
Atta boy.
Get on in here.
Here comes the Border Patrol.
Border Patrol's coming over.
Show him your feet.
There you go.
Atta boy. Now they got him another fishing spot.
Yeah. Right. Nice little chunky. Go on back. Now that is why I threw on top of you.
Hole jumper.
When we come back, Kim goes for a swim. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Hook and Look's 10th season. With the assistance of bass fishing legend Denny Brauer topside, our host and producer Kim Stricker prepares to enter the water to disclose the aquatic habitat of Lake Amistad.
This is Earth calling Aquaman.
Can you hear me, Denny?
I hear you.
The visibility is chalky, no doubt about it. Hopefully I don't spook the fish. There's a 15-foot line right here, and it's a rocky ledge. And it drops off. It drops off pretty quick, don't it?
Yeah, those things will break straight down. They're just underwater bluffs, but a lot of times those fish like to lay right on top of them. How we catch the majority of our big fish on this lake is just fishing right on the edge of those breaks like what you're on.
This is beautiful. I can't believe I'm not seeing something. Oh, there's a little one. There's one of your little bass.
Every big bass I know was little at one time.
And here's the main attraction to this specific spot of the ledge. Bluegill are schooled up here.
Yeah, the bluegill, one of the primary forage on this lake. Boy, they love them.
Now a little better bass is coming into play. Without question, as in many cases, it's where I'm finding bluegill is where I'm finding bass. And the tips of these steep rocky points appear to be the key deal right now.
Yeah, you're working back into a little pocket now. You follow that pocket around and you'll be over on the next point. You should see some pretty good underwater bushes coming up on your left.
Prior to the cold front, the larger females had begun migrating towards the bushes and pairing up with males in preparation for the annual spawn. Taking into consideration that the water temperature had been stable in the low 60s and that the lunar phase was smack dab on the full moon, the scenario for big fish within the bushes should have been at its prime for flipping and pitching, if it weren't for getting slammed in the face with this unsettling cold front.
I think this cold front definitely backed them out of them bushes for the most part and probably put them back on these drops on the points and that.
How far am I away from the next point? I should be getting close.
Yeah, you're starting to get out to the point. Now you're about 30 yards short of the point itself. Folks, the wind is gusting over 40 miles an hour and continuous winds 20 to 25. So that's tough fishing conditions, tough diving conditions too. Really wants to dirty the water up. A brutal day, very brutal day to be out on the lake.
Am I at the end of the point yet?
Yeah, you're pretty much right out on the end of it.
Earlier in the day, while Denny and I were Carolina rigging these points, we caught some smallmouth bass right along with the largemouths. I certainly didn't think I was going to come to Lake Amistad and watch you catch smallmouth.
Yeah. Never know what you're going to see.
I'm surprised I haven't seen any of those smallmouths on the point. The smallmouths are probably holding deeper than I'm at. Oh, speak of the devil, there goes a smallmouth. Actually, there's a pair. And they're the same size we were catching. Denny, you find it surprising as to how quick I can cover water?
I'm impressed. Fat boy has game. This guy is really good at what he does. It's awesome. Showing you a totally different perspective. Really helps simplify your fishing to be able to see what's going on underneath the water. Uh-oh, trout line.
It's potential hazards like this is why it's imperative we carry a sharp knife underwater. Kind of scary getting tangled in that.
Want more underwater content? Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll be right back. This portion of Hook and Look is brought to you by Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. Evinrude, introducing the all-new Evinrude E-Tech G2. Simms Fishing Products, the choice of professional guides and anglers worldwide. Dr. Edward Lonieski, ethical and effective stem cell therapy. And by Sportfish Michigan, your source for the top charter captains and guides.
I'm often asked, what are these poles sticking up on the back of my boat? Well, for those of you that don't know, these are power pole shallow water anchors. They're a hydraulically driven anchoring system that stops your boat quickly, quietly, all at the push of a button. Power poles are an extremely useful tool for holding your boat tight in wind, current, and even on the bank. There are 4 models and sizes available for every boat and every style of fishing. Heck, they even serve a purpose on paddle boards.
Here we go. Oh, that's a decent fish. That's a good.
Come here, girl.
Want me to net it for you?
He jumped into the net, Ken. He jumped into the net.
Good fish. Well, I think start this morning out good.
Well, let's see here. Get him out of that net.
You know, maybe some of this cloud cover might help. Typically, it's isn't it the sun that brings them in those bushes thick. And
Got him out of there. That old hook had him good now. It's a nice chunk. Pretty fish.
was that a good feeling first thing in the morning?
Just another day in paradise. Maybe there's one back in there. Nice one.
Yeah.
Good job.
Right in the center of that stuff.
Yeah. Buried up.
There you go.
Nice. He didn't want to come at first.
Good, solid.
That's why you
Fish.
use 25-pound test. Fluorocarbon to get him out of there.
That's it. And as clear as this water is.
Well, that's why we come out with the flipping fluorocarbon is for clear water scenarios like this. You know, braid's great when you're going through matted hydrilla and real dirty water, but when you got clear water and isolated targets, you're just gonna get more bites on the flipping fluorocarbon. And
Underwater, you can see, you cannot see this line.
no, they can't see it. It's just gonna get you more bites.
Yeah.
Good job.
Uh-huh. Thank you. But underwater, I saw the same thing, is that a lot of bushes didn't have a thing on them, and all of a sudden you come to one that's had a good one on it. But right now, it's certainly not a fish in every bush. But I'm sure it can get like that, right?
You'll get to an area
Yeah.
where there'll be just every bush. Get him out of there. Nice fish. That a boy.
There we go.
Easy.
Incoming.
Incoming. He was right in the middle of that bush.
He was.
Nice fish.
That's a nice chunk.
Absolutely.
He didn't know he's caught yet. That's the thing about whipping him in the boat.
One thing about that rage bug, the way it falls, they'll usually get it on the drop every time. Got that great action. You know, under these conditions, those are nice fish.
Oh, there's no question.
If the bite was on and we could fish where we really need to fish, that'd be a little one. This
Yeah.
lake is loaded with big fish, but that's still a nice fish anywhere.
What a sincere honor it was to share the boat with Denny and to take pleasure in he and Shirley's hospitality here in Del Rio. Next week, we head back north to shed some light on the contributing factors that trigger the pre-spawn migration of largemouth bass. It's an informative episode you won't want to miss. Thanks for joining us on
Hook and Look.
Hook and Look is a Kim Stricker production.